for step one, you want to start with a single seastead. This image that I have over here is of the ArkPad D. Now, this is our 4th version of the ArkPad model, and this is the one that we'll be mass producing and be selling to people very soon. This is currently under construction. We actually have 2 of these right now under construction in the southern Philippines, which will be added into our floating resort. And importantly, when you're designing a seastead, you want materials that can be corrosion resistant. You don't want it to be rusting. You don't want to have to dry dock it after 5 years and clean it and scrape it and do all these things. It needs to be able to go out in the water and stay there for decades with little to no maintenance at all, right? You want this to be treated like real estate, where it's going to go up in value over time and not down in value due to excessive maintenance costs. So that's the first thing. We're building real estate. We're not building a luxury yacht. So it's got to be corrosion resistant. It's got to be very stable in large waves, very safe, even during storms. It has to be capable of mooring in the deep sea. And so let's talk a bit more about that technology. Now, to start with, this is the ArkPad C. I'll play this video. You can see this is the version that we launched in September of last year off the coast of Boracay Island. This was the previous version of the ArkPad that was using primarily marine-grade aluminum and seasteading cement. And we're still using seasteading cement in our new design. We're also using more stainless steel than the marine-grade aluminum, but both designs are actually very good designs. And you can see that this has been off the coast for a long time. This ArkPad C unit actually survived 2 hurricanes within only about a month or 2 of it launching. At one point in time, the most guests we had on it was about 15 or 20 people. It didn't tip, it didn't rock. It's very, very stable. And the newer version that's coming out is really the same stability. It's the same design, just designed for more ease of mass production and at lower cost and easier transportation. So let's talk about the development of seasteads over the last 5 or 6 years. It's not just ArkPad that's been developing these. It's also been Ocean Builders and some other companies along the way as well. We've solved a lot of challenges that apply to seasteads. We've solved the issue of stability, primarily by using these kind of oil rig-esque semi-submersible designs. We're currently solving the issue of sustainability. This is the goal with the Reef Resort. How do you produce, here we have lots of food, right? Fish and crops and solar for electricity. We want to show that if you have a permanent population with a large number of people, can you produce all of the things that they need to sustain themselves? And of course, we've also solved over the last few years the issue of durability. How do you prevent your seastead, your structure, from decaying, from corroding, from falling apart, especially when exposed to the elements? These are the things. I won't go into details right now because we don't have time, but you guys can look this up online. We've solved most of these engineering challenges already, us and Ocean Builders and others as well. Okay, so assuming that now we have our single seastead, it's stable, it's durable, it's not going anywhere, and we have a family living on it. What is our step 2? In order to get from a single family to a floating city, we have to scale up. We have to get more people. We have to get more housing. If the single seastead is successful, we want housing for dozens of people as our step 2. Another thing we want to do is we want to make a profit off of these structures. We want to make seasteads profitable at as small a scale as possible that lowers the barrier of entry. So let's take advantage of a couple things. We can take advantage of the high cost of coastal real estate. Another thing we can take advantage of is novelty. Because floating homes are a novel idea for many people, novelty breeds interest. So it's not necessarily always going to be people that are looking for a libertarian lifestyle and wanting to be digital nomads. There are lots of those people, but there are a lot more people that just want to spend 2 or 3 days on a seastead, just to take a vacation out there, to get out on the water. So by building housing for dozens of people and turning it into a resort, you can take advantage of tourism. And again, because most resorts that are coastal, that are waterfront, the cost of coastal real estate is on average 5 times higher than nearby real estate that's not coastal. By building on the water, we're actually building a cheaper resort. The cost of construction is actually lower on us, even though it's marine construction, than if we built on the coast. The reason is because the coastal land is so high, millions and millions of dollars. So if we're going to build this floating resort, we want to achieve a few things. One, we want to achieve a profit. We want to show that you can now expand seasteading as it exists. Another thing, we want to prove that we can produce enough food to feed all the people that are staying there. This is a semi-permanent population. I guess you could say it's a permanent population, but the people staying there are always moving in and out. So it's always new people, but the population is permanent. So we want to produce enough food, produce enough fresh water, produce enough electricity, have air conditioning to keep people cool. We want to have amenities, jet skis, swimming, scuba diving, all of this stuff to keep people happy for years and years and years on end. If we can prove that seasteading works in the form of a resort, it's only a matter of time until we can scale it up into a full city. So once we've done this floating resort and we're now turning a profit, the model of seasteading, the concept of it itself, even at scale, has now been proven. This is some concept art of the Reef Resort. This is an image of the real thing. This is what's actually being built right now, and we're not too far away from opening it up. Here you can see some of our glamp houses. These are still being put together. The furnishing is not in yet. The electricity is not in yet, but the floating structures are all intact. The mooring is intact. Inside of this central cage, you can see there's kind of a green net set up over top of the central cage right here. This is filled with fish. And even this other area underneath the houses has even more fish. We have milkfish in the middle, and then kind of in a ring spread around that central cage, we have rabbitfish. So we're growing two different types of fish, shellfish. We're going to be adding seaweed pretty soon. The whole thing is already at a point where it could sustain a population for the long term. And here's another image. So what you're not seeing here yet are the ArkPads. You're just seeing the coastal glamp houses, but the ArkPads are going to be added a couple months later. Again, those are already under construction. Those big ArkPad Ds, those are going to get put in the water as well to be added on to this resort. So let's say that now we have our floating resort. We've built it out. It's profitable. We have a permanent, semi-permanent population. The next step, I'm going to get a bit technical here, if we want to build a floating city, is bathymetry. We have to look at areas that are at least 12 nautical miles off the coast, outside of territorial waters. We have to look for shallow areas. That means seamounts. That means, atolls and reefs and things like that. We have to look at ocean currents, which are these currents that you're seeing over here in this map. So here you can see a depth chart of Southeast Asia. Here you can see a water speed current chart of Southeast Asia. So you want to look at all these different things: water speed, depth, mooring costs, the presence of hurricanes and typhoons. If you go up north, there's actually a lot of high seas, a lot of totally unclaimed water space, but there's also a lot more typhoons up north. We're lucky enough right now to be in a place that, even though we're based in the Philippines, it's in a location that just does not get hurricanes or typhoons. So we're on really prime real estate for seasteading, and we're going to be expanding into that real estate. Step 4, how do we keep this going to build a floating city?